I hate that question.
So do I.
You were flirting up a storm.
You're sitting down for the first time. This will go down in history, in my personal interviewing history, as one of the worst experiences of my television career. First of all, just try to get over the hair. That was during my electric shock phase. And we were all a bit, we meaning hair and makeup team, intimidated by the idea of meeting Elizabeth Taylor. So we think we've got to do bigger, more, bigger, louder, wear color, do whatever. And she could have cared less about me or anyone else in the room. As we're sitting down getting ourselves mic, she says, I hope you're not gonna ask me anything about my marriages, because I'm not discussing it. I'm not discussing my husband's, and I'm not discussing anything to do with any relationship I've ever had. Says Elizabeth Taylor to me. So I'm like, okay, Miss Taylor, what would she talk about? She said she'd talk about her perfume. We've got an hour. I saw a picture of you and Malcolm Forbes, and you were on a Harley Davidson, purple. Yeah. So what's the deal?
My hog.
Your hog. What is the deal? What is the deal?
Malcolm and I are biking buddies.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. It's true.
And it stops right there on the bike?
Well, we go out in a hot air balloon once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You're so revealing. You just tell everything. I declare. Good. You gotta stop talking so much, Ms. Taylor.
This is what your friends wanted, right?
You have just gotta stop telling everything you know. So, okay, let's just go down there. George Hamilton, what, is that just a special friendship?
Yes.
No kissy-kissy?
Why, you cheeky bugger.
I just want to know. Just tell me so we can all go home then. We can all go home. You tell me, I'll go home.
Well, I think George and I have broken up.
Oh.
But, we're friends.
Okay. And so now it is really Malcolm, or none of my business?
None of your business.
It was bad. It was so bad. She knew it was bad, and several years later, I interviewed her again, and she apologized to me for it. So that's why I feel I can tell you how bad it was. Please welcome the legend herself, Elizabeth Taylor Korczynski. You seem happier than you've ever been in your life.
I feel great. I am happy. My life is wonderful. And I don't know what all the fuss about turning 60 is.
Really?
Well, I never think about growing old. I barely think about growing up. I didn't like 30.
Didn't?
No. Richard and I were in love, and we decided we couldn't be together because we were hurting too many people. And we were apart, and it just seemed like the end of my life. And 30 just seemed very old.
Really? I bet you felt older at 30 than you do now.
Oh, much older.
Really?
Because I had no sense of hope.
Really?
And now I'm so full of expectations and a sense of adventure, and I'm happy, and hope springs eternal.
Let me just say a brief thing about Tom Cruise. But he was very, very guarded in the beginning. Still intense, but oh, so guarded. It was painful. So that, you know, during the process of interviewing, I did this thing that is about as phony as it gets for me. That really is as phony as it gets for me, because I'm like, why aren't you saying something? Okay, where do I go now? Oh, wow, because you're giving me nothing. And he had a wall. You know, we're sitting this close to the audience, literally this close to the audience, and his whole thing was, I'm gonna guard myself. Very unlike the last time he was on when he was jumping on the sofa and hitting the floor. Talk about a full circle moment. Was the exact opposite. The exact opposite. As animated, as open, as giving. And maybe that's just one of those things that happen with time and being comfortable with yourself and being comfortable with your position as a star in the world.
Please welcome the man with the $1 million smile. Wait a minute, hold it. Tom Cruise! Calm down. It's almost as good as being a rock star.
Almost.
Almost as good. When was the moment you knew you were good?
Well, the moment I knew I was good, that's,
In acting.
I'm really proud of it. I worked very, very hard on that film, but a lot
And
of...
there were some times there when you didn't look so good. You know, you didn't...
Oh, no, I wasn't looking too good.
No one looked too good.
No, I remember actually the day, because I was prepping Rain Man and Born on the 4th of July at the same time, and I spent a year working on the makeup and developing and testing. I mean, literally, we didn't have a day off just because I wanted to make it
the last time you were
absolutely
here,
real.
you
Yeah,
were
last time I was
shooting
here.
Born on the 4th of July.
Yeah, I was actually wearing a toupee because they shaved my head. And you didn't know it. Yeah, they shaved my head from all the way
You were
back to
wearing
here.
a toupee?
Yeah. That was a stick-on. And you didn't know.
That was a good
Yeah.
stick-on. What was, for this film, the most exciting, or for you, the day that you look forward to shooting the most?
Well, there were so many different things. I think that's so many different. I'm not nervous here at all. I never get.
It's okay. It's okay. Everything's going to be just fine.
Thank you, Oprah. Thank
It's
you.
going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Okay.
Okay. So, where was I?
You were saying that you were surprised that Tom was doing this?
Absolutely. I didn't expect it at all from Tom
What
Cruise.
did
Not
you
the
wa-
Tom Cruise I knew.
Okay, because the question is, because when you said, I want to know, who is the Tom Cruise you knew?
The first Tom Cruise I knew was in An Officer and a Gentleman. And that was so many years ago that it's just wonderful.
Richard Gere.
That was Richard Gere. That isn't even the Tom Cruise you know.
That's all right, too.
Were you surprised at the international interest in your breakup with Nicole? I mean, like, people acted like it was their personal business. They acted like you were a member of their family, you were their son, Nicole was their daughter. And so I think so many people believed in the dream or the whatever they perceived it to be. And the fact that you could break up means that then it can happen to anybody, correct?
Well, it can happen. We're human. You know, we have. It was extraordinary time we've had together, and you know, she's someone. It was rough, and it's really the love that we have for each other and the respect that we have for each other and for our kids that got us through it, and I think she's my dearest friend, and it happens in life, and
Dearest friend and the mother of your children.
the mother of my children.
Are you aware of your effect? You know, Forbes just named you the most, whatever celebrity in the entire universe on the planet. Are you?
That's you, Oprah, isn't it?
No, I think it's you, Tom. I think it's you, Tom.
I think it's you.
Now, I've read that you said in life that you're not interested in wham bam kind of thing,
No.
party scene kind of stuff. That you like relationships.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not interested in that stuff. I never have been. I like relationships. I enjoy that dynamic very much.
Now, y'all acting like he said he enjoyed it with you.
Tom wields, as we've seen, a mighty sword in his new movie, Last Samurai.
You have to move that camera back, sorry.
Do I need to move?
I'm concerned.
Okay,
I'm
I'll be happy
concerned.
to leave.
I'm
I'll
concerned
give
for
you
your
lots of
well-being,
space.
Oprah. My arm, and then. Okay. You see what I'm talking
See,
about?
yeah,
That could have been you.
I'm glad I moved, Tom.
And go like this, you know. It's been a while. It's been a while.
Okay. You are such an intensely, I mean, intensely
think I'm intense, Oprah?
intense, he's intense, but an intensely private person. And then now you are just out everywhere, kissing and hugging. I go, what has happened to you? What has happened to you?
That's how I feel about it.
Really?
Really.
Something happened to you. Something happened to you.
I'm in love. I'm in love.
I've never seen you like that. I've never seen that.
I know. And I thought, you know what? I thought,
happened to you?
I have to tell you, no, when you meet someone that's like, you go, huh? And there's so much that we have in common. And I just thought,
I heard you
I'm
met
not
and
gonna
she
be,
was.
I can't be cool. You know what I mean? I can't be laid back. it's something that has happened and I feel I want to celebrate it.
We've never seen you behave this way before.
I know.
Have you ever felt this way before? You're gone. You are gone. Katie once told 17 magazine that her dream was to marry Tom Cruise. So you know, I've been in the dream-making business this year. Are you in the dream-making business?
I don't want to disappoint her. This is something I have to discuss with her personally, but you know. No,
So,
she's listening.
Tom, does that mean
When
you're
good
going to
things
ask her to
happen-
marry you? Does that mean you're going to ask her to marry you, Tom?
Oprah, I got it today. You're late.
No, does that mean you're going to ask her to marry you?
I gotta discuss it with her.
You got to discuss it. We've talked so much about her. I know she is here. Tom, tell her to come out. Tom, tell her to come out.
Katie, where are you?
Hi, how you doing? Okay.
She's freaking out.
Yeah, no.
I
know.
told her other way.
I
I
know.
said, look, you never know what I'm gonna do.
Never
girl.
know what's going to happen out here. We're all glad to see you.
Thank you.
So what does this feel like when you grew up wanting to marry Tom Cruise, and now you're standing here holding his hand in front of millions of people?
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I just, you know, I'm glad I was a big dreamer.
Oh, yeah. Please welcome my friend, Mr. Bill Cosby. Do you scrutinize the fellas when they come over?
I used to, but now they hide them from me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but because I always came out with very blunt statements, which were very, I thought, grown up and hip, you know. I didn't want to say, well, what are your intentions?
Yeah.
You know, she would go out the door and I said, well, now if you're gonna give it up, let me know.
When I met you, it was you was doing an interview for the news in Chicago, here. And I remember you told me with that beautiful, strong eyes and very fighting eyes, one day I'm going to have a syndicate program all over the United States and I'm going to take you. It was 7 years ago, 8 years ago.
yeah.
And that's funny, then why we are here
And
together.
this is what I couldn't believe. This is what I never do. I never go up to a person and say, "Do you remember me?" I don't care who it is, because I mean, people do that to me all the time, and I never remember them. So, and it puts you in an awkward position, because then you got to say, "Oh yeah, sure, I remember you." So I would never have a million years thought you would have remembered that. So when we were rehearsing today, and he said, I remembered you. I went, you remembered me.
No,
You remembered me. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Bette Midler! When I walked out here and you gave me that heartfelt, dare I say, probably the most heartfelt ovation I've ever experienced. I mean, I really wanted to you know,
I saw you when you were the Divine Miss M.
Yes,
And
I
you
remain
were,
divine.
You were so...
You are so enormo.
Is that it?
That's it. It's
Okay.
like maybe you should wear it as a badge of honor or something, but it does wear you out, doesn't it?
After a while.
I should be interviewing you.
Okay,
Let's change places.
Let's do that.
What do you think? Now, I would just like to say, Miss Winfrey.
He's so funny. When you or the girls are on the bus and stuff, you don't feel like eating a lot? No?
On the bus?
Oh, I thought there was a bus. I'm sorry, I thought there was like a big show bus or something. I thought...
You have me mixed up with Whoopi.
Oh.
Well, it was actually really funny because it was the end of the photo shoot, and Annie had photographed me naked with my first child, but just for me. And so it was my idea. And when we were there and we were doing, I said, wouldn't this be great if they'd use this as the cover? And I said, but there's no way. There's no way that they would do it. And then she called me and she said, what do you think? What do you think about them using it? I said, I can't believe it.
And then when the cover came out, were you prepared for what happened?
I was away.
You were away.
Having my baby, and I really missed a lot of what was happening about it. But I was really pretty shocked. Mostly, I think I was shocked that there would have been a negative response, that people would have been, they would be offended.
Yeah.
I don't know, I did it because I thought it was a true reflection of how I was really feeling about myself and my body and my family. And
You was feeling
great.
pretty good.
yeah.
You look dashing, though.
Well, thank you, and so do you. You were flirting up a storm as usual.
You always
it's very
accuses
funny.
me of flirting.
When we did the show, there's a break, and I hear her talking to some of the women on the staff. They're going, we don't know how to flirt. I'm not a good flirt. And I'm thinking, she is the biggest flirt in the world. No, I watch, because when you talk to women, this is how you talk to women. Because you did it to me. You did it, it's instinctive. It's what you do. I'll tell you what, this is Oprah talking to you. So what are you doing? Okay, right. No, I want it this way. I want it that way. I don't want it. I go, hi, Oprah. Oh, hi. and a little tongue thing comes out.
Wait a minute. And I said, Jay says, you big flirt. I go, I am not flirting. He goes, oh, do you always talk to your girlfriends like this? Like when you're talking like that?
Just
She actually moves her shoulder and does her eyes.
Yeah, but
I
she's
was
talking to you like,
surprised.
well, if I want it this way, no, we'll do this, and the editing time is the, hi, G. And this little tongue, I'm thinking, what is, and you don't even know you do it. And you were doing it last night.
We'll have this conversation another time. So you were outed before you were ready to admit it to the world.
Yeah, I was out to family and friends, but I wasn't, at the point where I felt comfortable being out to everybody, and especially, as the tabloids don't usually say it in the nicest way either, and they certainly embellish. So it was a really difficult time. I told my father first, and I had kind of been really hinting with him, and he finally brought it up to me and said, I feel like there's something that you want to talk about with me, and you can tell me anything. And I told him, and then shortly after that, I met what turned out to be my first long-term girlfriend, and I think that my mom, started to see a change in me all of a sudden, and went to my dad and asked him. I think that's kind of how it happened.
And on page 207, you say, you went ballistic.
Absolutely. It had something to do with her
And your expectations and dreams for your little girl.
Yes, like I wanted her to grow up, get married, have a child, get divorced, and live happily ever after.
This new blonde thing you got going here, is that just like a mood?
It's you know what? It's a mood.
It's a mood.
Right.
I'm feeling blonde?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I
because...
never had that feeling.
Well, neither did I.
You say and have said that losing Sonny was, for you, the first real loss. Yeah. Toughest thing. I'd read in your book that you'd said that leaving him you thought was the hardest, but losing him turned out to be the hardest. Yeah. Okay. And so, still now, hard to, is it like, I hear this from people who've lost loved ones, they say, sometimes you want to call them or you want to, you forget that they're not here? Or has the realization...
No, you know what's so weird? I was talking to Chas the other day, and we have dreams about him. And I had one dream right after he died, and I've never had a dream like this at all. I was, in my dream, I saw him, and it was like sitting here seeing you. And he didn't talk, though, and I kept talking to him, and he wouldn't talk back to me, and then all of a sudden, he turned, and he smiled, and it was like the most real thing that has ever happened in a dream. And then he smiled, and I thought, okay, well, it's fine. And then the dream was over.
I don't think I've done anything that normal people haven't done. I think what people tend to see is
But
money.
see, you're not normal in that, first of all, you can fly, and and you make more money than most people ever will know in their lives.
Except for you.
Well... Touche. Oh, yeah. He got me. Do you realize just the enormity of your fame and what you mean to people? Does that ever, like, hit you?
Sometimes. It
Sometimes.
does. I mean, when I can't do basic things.
Like?
I can't just move around. I can't go to the grocery store. I can't, get out of this car and pump my gas without someone coming around. So I end up going to
You pump your gas?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. I didn't think you did.
I'm looking for full service everywhere I go.
Thanks. Thanks. Okay, now we'll do Solomon. Isn't that the cutest?
Is this dog trained to do this?
No, it's not. You know the hit show Fringe? It's not only the hottest new sitcom, but last week it was the third most watched show in America. All 6 of them are here today. All 6. Live on The Oprah Show for their first ever TV interview.
I want to know how your newfound fame has changed your personal life.
Not at all.
Really, Jennifer, anything?
I don't get it as much as these guys. I don't know why. I haven't been bombarded by people, and I don't feel it has changed my life.
How cool. Hello. Woo! We're here. Okay. Too cool. This is it. The last season, the end of an era. I'm standing on the actual set of one of the biggest television shows in history. Friends! Okay. And so this is Central Perk, the famous coffee shop where every Thursday night for 10 whole years we've all hung out with Rachel and Chandler, Monica and Joey and Phoebe and Ross. And today, in their first farewell interview, the cast of Friends says goodbye. Please welcome Jennifer Aniston, Matthew Perry, Courtney Cox, David Schwimmer, Lisa Kudrow, and Matt LeBlanc. What do you think the finale week is going to be like?
I think that Jennifer probably won't be able to breathe because she starts crying. I think she started crying the first day we got here this year. And
did you?
I'm crying right now.
You're crying right now. Who is the funniest? Who is the funniest?
Matthew Perry.
Matthew Perry.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Just as far as being the funniest person, not necessarily on camera, it's definitely Matthew Perry.
Definitely Matthew Perry. Okay.
Oh, not on camera.
Okay.
Not on camera, Matthew.
Who's the biggest flirt?
Oh, wow.
I think we stopped flirting with each other.
Haven't?
Well, you know, to the extent that I was in the beginning. Because at some point you just realize you don't have a shot.
We have these really rich, full characters to hide behind. To sit here with it as ourselves is really kind of nerve-wracking.
Is it? Yeah. Would Joey be having a better time, do you think?
Oh, he'd probably hit on you.
I want to ask, who do you, Jennifer, who do you most want Rachel to end up with?
Oh, I'll start crying. I think everybody's had a special place for Ross and Rachel.
Everybody. Are you getting a little misty over this?
It just made me think about the episode with the first kiss and all these, so much history between.
So much history.
Okay, Jen, can you tell us about each of your castmates?
Oh, Courtney, I just love you so much. I can be really honest with David and speak my mind, and I really appreciate you letting me do that. Oh, God, I have something else.
No, you're almost done. You're almost done. You're okay. Yeah, you're okay.
Seriously.
Yeah, okay, no, really. Okay. Okay, want to take a minute? Okay.
What do you think of all of us, Oprah?
I like you so much, it's gonna be bittersweet. I know we
gotten to those two yet.
I know. I know. I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
Oh, I don't know if I can do it yet. Let's go on to something else.
Okay. Okay. Take a break. Deep breath. Isn't this endearing? No, really, I do. I'm very moved by it. I know. I'm really moved by it. All right. Can you finish now?
Yes, I can. Dearest Lisa Kudrow, who's also one of the most talented actresses, and I've learned so much from you as a comedian. Unbelievable, but a dramatic actress that knocks your socks off. And Matt LeBlanc is just, you know, the best big brother, young big brother. You are older than me, just a little bit. You know, I feel so protected by Maddie, and he's talk about somebody who can read me a mile. I know I seem obvious, but
She's actually very happy right now. You know, crying like a baby.
This is a first for Winona because she is openly admitting to the world, her millions of fans, her family, and all the rest of us, for the first time, that she has a serious problem. And she has bravely agreed to let our cameras document her as she takes on what she calls the fight of her life, her struggle with weight. So it's really unusual for a famous person such as yourself to come on national television and admit that they are in crisis. Why did you want to do this?
Well, I'm afraid to do this, to be on national television, but I'm more afraid of going another year and not doing something. I feel that it's more important now than ever because the truth will set me free.
Yeah.
And I want that.
This is something Winona has never talked about with her mother. They have never talked about weight in all these years.
I'd rather go to the gynecologist.
Okay, so let's just say they've never discussed weight. You know, in all these years, it's been the great...
Subliminally.
Yes.
She would say things, you know.
Okay.
Because it wasn't an issue for her. You don't know the pain, you don't know the struggle, so be quiet.
Okay.
And so, you know, and then I'd eat another piece of cake just to show her who's boss. I'm realizing that I don't really love myself enough. I think I do, you know, because I love what I do. But to love who I am is like a whole nother subject because I have it all, but I don't kind of deserve it. But I'm working on that. And people go, what is that about? You can have everything and have nothing at all.
You know, my eyes watered when you said this because you hit it. You hit it. This is it. it doesn't matter how much you love what you do, because for so many years I loved what I love what I do. And I was blowing up like a balloon, like a blowfish on TV. And it is not until you can get to the point where you really inside yourself, you don't need a book, you don't need a psalm, you don't need a song, but you know that you are worthy because you were born. And the moment you hit that, and I believe you're gonna get there, you're gonna get there. The moment you get to the point where you really do feel worthy and I deserve it, I deserve all the happiness and abundance that God is willing to give me, it will be over. It will be over. I've been doing this show for 10 years. Never has a producer ever come to me for any show in the history of the show and said, "What are you wearing today?" I said, "I don't know. I'm just gonna, it's summer. I'll put on some white pants and I was gonna wear that little Chanel jacket." I don't know if you should wear that. Don't you have something sexier? What do I need to wear something sexier for? Because Pauletta's taking care of that, honey. So then, just during the commercial break, they come out to me. They never, I've been here bra strap showing, lipstick on my teeth. Somebody just came out during the commercial break and said, Denzel is here, sit back in the seat. Your butt's looking a little big, so sit back in the seat. Denzel's explosive performance is getting a lot of Oscar buzz, and many say it will no doubt earn him his 5th Oscar nomination. Do you care about those things?
Yeah, it's nice to be recognized.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And I'm so glad you said it, because, a lot of actors are like, oh, it doesn't matter. But it's really, it's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it matters when they don't call your name.
Yeah. I know.
So happy for the other guy.
I know. You were here the first time. You thought that I was going to figure out that you were gay and then wouldn't like you.
Right. I was scared to death if you knew I was gay that you wouldn't like me, because I liked you so much and I wanted you to like me. And I thought, I saw a show once where you were asking someone about being with another woman, and what do you guys, you were asking these questions, and I thought, God, she doesn't.
What do you guys, swinging from the chandeliers?
Some kind of question like that. It was just, it was like a question like you just kind of were uncomfortable with. That's what I read from it.
And so?
And I thought, and I wanted so badly to talk to you about that and tell you and to just, and I just worried that you wouldn't like me if you knew that I was gay.
Did you think that about other people too? When you meet other people, you think if they found out I was gay, they won't like me?
Just you.
Oh.
No.
I make movies. I own movies. I've paid for movies. So I know what to do with money. If I was paying for Waterworld, it wouldn't have been like that, because in my life I run it fiscally. But there was a lot of things that
I'd like to see your checkbook.
Yeah. Yeah, and everybody would like to see yours.
Oh, that was very good, Kevin. Very good. You did the same thing I did. You tried to make your nose shorter, and I tried to make mine more pointy. Stephen used to use tape.
I used to take tape, and I put it on the tip of my nose and put the other piece of tape to my. Why am I confessing this on national television? What am I saying? See, you have this power.
Did kids call you names, or you made fun of? Were you kicked around?
I was kicked around. We moved a lot. My dad was in computers, so we moved from town to town. And I never found myself welcome anywhere because I was Jewish.
Mm-hmm. Were you a small kid, too?
I was a small kid, skinny, and not combative, not confrontational, just the opposite.
Now, certainly you read about the Holocaust, knew about the Holocaust. Were there members of your family who were directly exposed to the Holocaust?
None of my parents directly or grandparents were directly related to it, but they talked about it incessantly.
They did?
And it
Your
was
parents
interesting.
or grandparents?
My parents and grandparents
Really?
talked about it. They called it the Great Murders. The worst word you could use in our house was the word Nazi.
You're sitting in the palace, and you felt a sense of hatred for yourself. That doesn't compute in our Princess Cinderella Duchess mind. You understand?
Okay, so
that is the fairy tale.
It is the fairy tale. But then comes the realism that you actually you didn't marry to get the fairy tale. You married a man. You fell in love, and you married the man, and then you've got to come to terms with the fairy tale. Now, it's not a fairy tale. It's real life in there. Well, so to speak. They think it's real life in there.
Okay. The Duchess says that things were different for Princess Diana. Why do you think things were different for her?
I think that she was just very good at what she did. She was the perfect princess. She is the perfect princess. I think that that she just glides, really. And she's very, very tall and very beautiful. And she's been through a huge amount of discovery in her own self and a huge amount of problems with her own life. But I always think she just seems to get it right, you know.
But she went through her struggles and the
Big time.
yes,
Big
and the tabloids who are vicious. They're bad here, but they're vicious over there.
Absolutely.
Have you know, tried to kill her, literally.
Yeah, they have. And I think that that's what's so exciting about two best friends like Diana and I, is that we can grow together and transform together.
Did you
we
know?
Support each other.
Didn't mean to interrupt you, but did you know how miserable she was?
No, she was very good at not showing it. And then when I was there and living there, I sort of got to know more and more the
About
pain,
it.
the pain she was in. Yeah.
Before that, though, I heard you had odd jobs. You sold ladies' shoes.
Yeah, I did that. I sold ladies' shoes. There was like you would sell like you weren't selling great shoes there. You know, we'd be selling like clinics or shoes for and most of the people would be about 90. It was a horrible, horrible, horrible job to do. And there would always be there was a group of women that had a toe cut off because for their pumps. There were these 80-year-old women who would wear pumps and they would have a toe cut and they'd be like, "That's a hammer toe."
Why do you think you never will? I mean, like if you met the person.
I've been married before. I didn't really think I was very good at it. To tell you the truth, I don't want to do that anymore.
Okay.
I think.
Listen, I'm the last person to be telling anybody.
That's right. I'm okay here. I'm safe here.
Okay.
Hey, I'm not getting married. How about you?
I'm not either.
When are you and Stedman going to get married?
Oh, man.
Not you two. I had to.
I hate that question.
So do I.
I hate that question, too. Okay. Yeah. So it's not happening for you anytime soon? Yeah.
You?
Same here.
Cool.
Okay. Not having your mother growing up with you, what impact do you think that will have on your mothering?
Well, all I can say is that when I look into my daughter's eyes right now, I feel that I'm being healed.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's an incredible, because I didn't have a mother that I could grow up looking into the eyes of, I couldn't recognize myself in her. I couldn't see myself in her. So now I look into my daughter's eyes and I see that recognition, and it is so extraordinary, that feeling. And I think that it is going to heal a lot of the pain that I felt growing up without a mother.
What did you have for breakfast this morning?
Very good question. A half a bagel.
And that's it?
And some butter. A lot of butter. Butter's important.
You do the real butter or you do that spray thing? Can't believe it is.
Come on.
Okay.
I like real butter.
I know. I was telling a friend about...
I like cheese, I like chocolate, I mean, just all the bad things.
And you're only doing yoga now. Are you watching, are you doing...
I'm telling you, wait a minute, this is really important. Yoga changes the molecular structure of your body. If you stop worrying about being fat, you will not be fat.
Really?
I swear to God.
Really?
I'm telling you.
And it changes the molecular structure.
Absolutely.
And you
I eat whatever I want.
And you eat whatever you...
Swear to
Well, if
God.
you're only eating a half a bagel, I guess you could.
Did anyone here not see the kiss?
I haven't seen it. I did it. I didn't see it.
You did it and you haven't seen it. Okay. I didn't see it either. I thought I was the only person in the world who hadn't seen it. So I said to my producers, roll the tape for the 4 of us in the room, including Madonna, who have not seen it.
How could it hurt you when it looks so good?
Did you know that it was like on the front page of the...
I had no idea that it was going to cause the, the ruckus that it caused.
I mean,
it was just a friendly kiss.
And you
It really was, I swear to God.
Was that planned or was it spontaneous or what was it? What was that?
Basically, it was supposed to, I was the groom and I had 2 brides, right? So, the groom and the bride are supposed to kiss.
Yeah.
And it was just meant to be a playful kind of ironic comment on the bride and groom kissing, because I had 2 brides, so I was going to kiss both of my brides. And all of the rehearsals we did, it was very, you know, mwah, mwah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
that
then
was more than mwah.
I know.
Yeah.
I know that, but that's if Brittany looks like she's, you know, kissing me in an aggressive manner, it was a surprise to me. I swear to God. And you know, I'm a showgirl. After 20 years in show business, we learn to roll with the punches. You know?
Absolutely. That's right. You don't go, oh my God.
You get a lemon, you make lemonade. If someone comes at you with their lips slightly parted, you have to kiss them.
Were you watching Tiger Woods when he played?
No, Tiger, you know, Tiger made me cry.
Did he?
Oh, he did. You know, and I just talked to him last night. Now, you know, I teared up again every time I talked to the young man. I promised my mom I wasn't gonna cry on Oprah.
Why don't you introduce her?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my sweetie, Jada Pinkett.
Was it love at first sight when you auditioned?
She says it wasn't, but she can. How you gonna resist me?
You like to spoil me with massages, and
you know,
he'll bathe me and bring red wine, and Will is a very romantic guy.
I do it real hard, though.
Now he gets on my nerves sometimes. You know what I mean? But I cannot imagine being on this planet with anybody else.
Really?
It's the truth. I mean, this is it for me. That's it. If this don't work, then I'm gonna have to try something else. I have to try something else. Give Ellen a call or something.
Okay, can you show us a few of the Wild Wild West?
You want to learn some of that?
Yeah,
we got all our Wild Wild West hats.
We got our hats on.
All right,
Yeah.
Now, Oprah, this is a really important part, and I put this in there just for you.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Okay.
I put this in here right now. Right, so now we'll go through the move first. We'll go through the move first.
Okay, in slow motion.
Slow motion.
Everybody stand up. Here, we got it.
All right, so let's do it. All right, just 1, 2, 3, 4. Little snack there. Look at the little snack.
Okay. So 1, 2.
Man lost his damn mind in the West. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Got that? Y'all got that? No.
3, 4, 5.
Will went through a rigorous, but not to mention your body, and you got to know how to box.
I look good, Oprah.
I'm just keeping it real. I'm keeping it real, girls. Don't get me to peeling off in here. Don't get me to peeling off.
You went through a rigorous boot camp to get yourself physically ready to play Ali. He's been quoted as saying that he is being in such great shape that he is a sexual machine now.
Oh, you were deceived.
Raring to go every second of the day.
I'm saying, right now, Oprah.
No.
Right now.
Let's call out Jada.
Right now.
Wait a minute. I read where you said...
Next week on a very special Oprah Winfrey.
Where you said, I am human Viagra. I am Will Agra. That's a quote.
But I was playing. I was serious, but I was joking.
The champ is here, making a rare appearance. Please welcome the greatest, Muhammad Ali. I know that it must be because we've seen so many, films about you. You've been written more about than any other human being on the planet. What does having this film out now mean to you in your life at this time in your life?
It means people who don't really know much about me, it'll tell them more about who I am. They'll understand more about the legend of Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay. And it's a big honor. It makes me feel good that somebody takes time to make a movie about my life. And it makes you humble feeling.
Wow. Thank you. In essence, you say you like to put a little exploration, I think you said, into your kisses.
See, Oprah, that's the thing about a woman, Oprah,
Yeah.
See, lots of times, men are very superficial, It's like, we want, like, when it's a kiss,
yeah,
like, just the mouth is cool. Just, like, deal with the mouth area.
Yeah.
And, when it's making love, we don't necessarily need all the exploration, But, see, with Jada,
Talk to me, Will. Talk to me.
See, when I make love to my woman, Oprah, when I make love to my woman, it's from every end. It's from every end, Oprah.
Got it.
That's what
Got it. That's wonderful.
No, but
Okay. So you keep it fresh all the time. What are some of the nicest things you've ever done? I'm not even talking about like physical,
Well, that's the nicest stuff I do.
Okay, no. I'm talking about.
No, but our relationship is first, and you have to work on it every day. It's like, we notice that life in general and relationships, everything, it's a life, death, life cycle.
What does that mean?
A tree is born, it grows, it dies,
yeah,
and then another tree will be born. And your relationship has phases and stages like that. Like, for example, you're together, you guys are having fun, you're having a great time, and then you have a baby.
Yeah.
That is, right, that is the death of that section of your relationship, right? So you can't spend the rest of your life mourning the death of that section of your relationship.
That is
you
so
have
great.
to birth the new relationship.
Talk to me, Will. And that's so smart.
Yeah, that's,
You're young but smart.
Young but smart. Well, thank you, Oprah. I'm trying. I just realized something,
What?
Oprah. You're the only person on this couch I haven't kissed.
Thank you, Jada. Thank you, Jada.